Hey, what's up everybody? I hope you're all doing very well out there. I just want to start by thanking you all for taking the time to swing by the channel and watch a video. It's greatly appreciated. We're going to do a Blu-ray review in this one. It's the highest grossing movie of all time, Avengers Endgame. It's coming out to home entertainment on Blu-ray and DVD on the 13th. This is a monumental film for cinematic history, and it just has a collection of fantastic special features to go along with it. I think it really gives you a little bit of everything. It's got the gag reel, some deleted scenes, the usual audio commentary, the Russo Brothers intro, and 6 tightly edited featurettes that I think really do a great job of exploring the core group of heroes that the MCU was founded around. So let's dive into each of these segments and the rest of the bonus content that's included with this film. The first featurette on the list is called Remembering Stan Lee. This was just a touching look back at all of the different cameos from Stan Lee throughout the run of MCU films. Stan Lee himself sets the tone with his insight on just how massive these films have gotten, as well as just how humbled and grateful he was that he was able to create these characters that so many years ago, and they've grown into what they are today, and that he was just so grateful to be a part of it. And I thought it was very sincere and just touching to see. This segment weaves in behind the scenes footage from all his different cameos, capturing just his rapport with the different cast members that I really enjoyed. It was just a great look back at an incredible man with just years of amazing footage that was edited together into a segment that I think on its own is a must-have for comic book film collectors. The next featurette was called Setting the Tone, Casting Robert Downey Jr. This was a pretty in-depth look at the saga of Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, from his small beginnings during screen tests throughout his evolution to becoming the face of the MCU. It really provides insight to just the process that went behind casting Downey Jr., exploring how he wasn't necessarily a family-friendly name at the time, but just someone that they all felt was perfect for the role. And I thought it was awesome to kind of sit back and just hear the mindset that was in behind casting Downey Jr. in this role, as moments from his past films are woven together with a very retrospective structure to it. It explores really how important Iron Man was to having an MCU at all. It also incorporates all the other main cast members and their thoughts on Downey Jr. in this role, which I really thought was an interesting inside look. The third featurette was called A Man Out of Time, Creating Captain America. The other face of the MCU is covered in this featurette, and like the rest, it really goes in depth on just the creation of the character from many angles, from the concept design to personal motivations for the hero, as well as the overall thought process behind wanting audiences to fall in love with Steve Rogers before even meeting Captain America in that first film, which I think was just pretty fascinating to see. Commentary from Evans and others really explore the growth and torment that Cap has faced throughout his MCU movies, how he's kind of been the backbone to everything that has taken place. And it was interesting to learn more about the intention of that first film, wanting to just create an aspirational character that people could connect with, as well as myself being a lover of art. I thought it was just great to see all the concept drawings for the various versions of Cap over the years and all the ideas and thought processes that went behind them. The next featurette was called Black Widow, Whatever It Takes. Black Widow is one of my favorite characters in the MCU, as well as, in my opinion, one of the most underutilized ones as well, and this feature really covers all of her actions within the MCU and with the Avengers, as well as exploring the small sections of her own backstory that have been sprinkled into all these past films. Some of the character's best moments throughout the years, in my opinion, are seamlessly edited, really showcasing her deadly skills, and Johansson comes in to speak on what the character has meant to her and the growth within the role that has taken place, in addition to what she thinks the journey of her character means within the scope of the MCU, as well as personally, that I felt was really intriguing, given there was a lot of foundations that haven't been told about this character. The next featurette was called Russo Brothers, Journey to Endgame. I thought this was a pretty insightful look at just the creative mastery of the Russo brothers and their evolution to becoming the go-to directors in the MCU. It explores how they came in with Captain America, Winter Soldier, and just elevated that character and the storyline with many moving parts and layers that just all work together well, then proceeding to just ramp up the quality with just the climactic Civil War. And Feige speaks on the Russo's strong ability to manage large character counts and multiple different story angles, which was certainly a major importance for Infinity War and Endgame to be the massive successes they needed to be, and just being able to close out this wave of the MCU and how they were the perfect ones for the job. The cast come in as well and share their thoughts on working with the brothers, and the Russos themselves come in to provide their own insight on just what the MCU has meant to them and their careers. The next featurette was called Women of Men. The female superheroes have been stepping into the forefront in recent years in the MCU, and this featurette really dives in depth onto just all the various characters from the past movies and how important it was to them to finally get them all together on screen for the first time in Endgame. The cast adds commentary on their feelings towards all the other female heroes they've watched over the years and how fun it was to work together for the first time, how it was like a reunion of an extended family, and it was just uplifting to hear all the different cast members talk about the importance of just giving women a voice and a presence that can stand shoulder to shoulder with the men like it should. And it was awesome to just look back at all the past films and how all these female heroes are kind of just the groundwork for the years to come, where girls out there watching comic book movies can have people to look up to just like the boys have been able to do all these years. The final featurette was called Bro Thor. This was one of the more interesting featurettes, for me at least, as a person that just wasn't too into this new direction for the character. I felt like it was too intent on being comedic relief, but this segment really was able to fill in much more of the mindset behind this new look and tone for the character. It really bookmarks the massive amount of loss that Thor has went through over the course of the MCU, as well as the guilt that he feels for not going for the head with Thanos. So for that aspect, seeing how and why this character sort of checked out as a result of all the emotional trauma was really able to add more foundation to me, at least for this story arc, which makes him finally feeling redeemed and filled with new purpose in the film, being able to resonate with me that much more. So that wraps up the featurettes. There's also 6 deleted scenes included here, and I would have to say none of them were very relevant to the film, other than the one called Avengers Take a Knee that everybody's talking about that you've probably already seen already. The other scenes were very short. None of them really added more to the story, in my opinion. There is one called Tony and Howard that was a slight tweak to the scene that's in the film between Stark and his father that I do think was the better moment in terms of emotional sincerity. So as for that aspect, none of them really were needed for the movie. The scene Avengers taking a knee, I really loved it. I thought it would have been cool to see this moment in the film. It could have been shortened a lot to keep the continuity going, but I thought it was a very touching moment that really would have been great in the final movie. The scene is definitely pre-res and far from completed, but it was cool to see all the heroes paying respect to Tony Stark with a slow panning camera shot. And like I mentioned, also included in this release is the customary gag reel showing all the goofs and playing around on set from the cast. That's always able to really capture the on-set chemistry between everybody despite so much pressure on all these films being so successful. It also has an intro from the Russo Brothers, as well as the optional commentary from the Russos, as well as writers Stephen McFeely and Christopher Marcus. And that concludes this review of the massive bonus features that are included with this Blu-ray release of Avengers Endgame. Like the other Marvel home entertainment releases, there's a wide range of special content that's really nicely edited to make the film worth adding to your collection. Besides, it's the biggest movie of all time. It's Avengers Endgame. You know you're going to buy it anyways, and this collection of features that really bookend some of the longest running characters in the MCU is a touching send-off, which makes all the material really just a must-have for home movie collectors and MCU fans. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. I'd love to talk movies with you guys. Share it with your friends, and without question, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can never miss a video. Here are some links to some recent reviews just in case you missed them. All my social media links and the link to our official website are down in the description below, and I'll catch you next time.